Black Star Network is here.
Hold no punches!
I'm real revolutionary right now. Black power.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig? Folks, today's Wednesday, April 8th, 2026, coming up on Roland Martin Unfiltered, streaming live on the Black Star Network. It is Henry Aaron Day. On this day, 58 years ago, Henry Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's record for most career home runs. We'll look back on that, also show you my interview with Hammer and Hank in 2017. Plus that year, I was also honored, personally chosen by him as one of his Courage Award winners. And so we'll show you some of that as well. So lots to share with you. Will America finally unite to remove Donald Trump from office? Well, my goodness. After Trump threatened to end civilization in Iran, Democrats and Republicans are like, what the hell is this fool? They're calling for the invocation of the 25th Amendment. Ain't gonna happen, but they're talking about it. Consumers are feeling the financial strain caused by the war in Iran. Prices for gas, food, and baggage are rising, including housing sales slowing down. We'll talk with the founder and CEO of the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America about that. In Georgia, a Trump-backed Republican prosecutor won the special election for the seat formerly held by Marjorie Taylor Greene, but Democrats overperformed in a huge way. We'll tell you about that. In Wisconsin, progressives now have 5-2 majority in the state Supreme Court. We'll tell you about that huge win as well. Plus, in tonight's Shop Black Star Network segment, we'll discuss skincare for grown-ups with the co-creator of Care Beauty, a brand specifically designed for mature women. It's time to bring the funk. Roland Martin Unfiltered. On the Black Star Network, let's go.
He's got whatever the miss, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, y'all. It's Roland Martin, yeah. Rolling with Roland now. He's funk, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now. Martin.
All right, folks. Well, the twice impeached criminally convicted felon in chief Donald Trump. Remember he talked about, he's going to end civilization and bombing Iran. Then announces, we got a 2-week ceasefire. Yo, Iran has been straight up trolling this idiot for the last couple of days. Now, of course, they're claiming, we have this ceasefire agreement. And then the agreement that he claims that, the 10 points from Iran, pretty much, we got it, we're almost there. Iran's like, we didn't agree to that. Y'all, it is so crazy how this fool has gotten played. And of course, you have Democrats and Republicans who say, what's going on? Connecticut U.S. Senator Chris Murphy tweeted, if I were Trump's cabinet, I would spend Easter calling constitutional lawyers about the 25th Amendment. This is completely, utterly unhinged. He's already killed thousands. He's going to kill thousands. He's going to kill thousands more. California U.S. Representative Ro Khanna had this to say. We need to invoke the 25th Amendment and remove Trump. Threatening war crimes is a blatant violation of our Constitution and the Geneva Conventions. He also posted this video calling on the removal of the convicted felon-in-chief. Listen. I don't know what y'all doing, but y'all should have the Ro Khanna video. All right, Congressman Ilhan Omar tweeted this. This is not okay. Invoke the 25th Amendment. Impeach, remove. This is unhinged. This unhinged lunatic must be removed from office. Representative Sylvia Garcia chimed in. She said President Trump's threats isn't just intimidation. He is openly calling for war crimes. As a Christian, I'm calling for peace. As an American, I'm calling the Republicans and the Congress to act immediately. Donald Trump is unfit to be president. He must be stopped. It's time for the 25th Amendment. This war must end. We need diplomacy, not bombs. We need peace, not war. Even some Republicans weighed in. Former Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene said, 25th Amendment, not a single bomb is dropped on America. We cannot kill an entire civilization. This is evil and madness. But let me tell you what's also madness, y'all. When you have people like the idiot Megyn Kelly. Now, mind you, this is the same idiot Megyn Kelly who said, I don't care if Donald Trump drops a nuclear bomb. I'm still going to vote Republican. That's what she said, okay? But now all of a sudden, Megyn has some issues with what he says. Listen to this, y'all. Roll it.
Now, as you can imagine, that post did not go over well with the Iranians or with many Americans. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D chess, shut up. Fucking shut up about that shit. You don't threaten to wipe out an entire civilization. We're talking about civilians just casually in a social media post. You know, like I am the first to try to understand Trump and his strategy and to not freak out over his weird social media posts and language that is loose and incendiary. Truly, I've lived with it for 10 plus years. I learned it the hard way when I was on the receiving end of it for 9 months. And truly, I think that was a gift to me in many ways because it helped me really come to understand what he does with his social media. But this is completely irresponsible and disgusting. This is wrong. It's wrong. He should not be doing it. I don't care that it's his negotiation tactic is to kill an entire country full of civilians, men, women, and children. An American president so that the Strait of Hormuz will be opened. It's just wrong. It's not hard to say it. It's not hard to recognize it. I wish he would stop doing this. Like, he can't negotiate without doing this. What does that say about him? What does that say about the position that our country is in right now in these negotiations? He's got to say this. He can't be a dignified, strong leader without threatening a bunch of war crimes. Like, what is he, Genghis Khan? Like, what is he trying to do? And why can't he do it with strength, threats? Sure, go for it. That don't diminish and demean the United States of America in this way.
Okay. Seriously, Megyn Kelly, you can go to hell. You voted for this. Megyn, do we need to remind you, you stood at rallies with him, pushing folks to vote for him. You knew he was nuts. You knew he was crazy. You knew he was insane. There is nothing in that post of Donald Trump that is different from him descending down escalators talking about rapists and killers from Mexico. Nothing. There's nothing since 2011 when he was pushing the birther conspiracy. But you supported that, Megyn. You voted for it. And again, just the day before, you said, I don't care if a nuclear bomb is dropped on them, I'm still going to support Republicans. You said that, Megyn. So anytime any of these people, I saw Eric Erickson's post, and he's sitting here saying, this was a waste. Eric, you voted for it. Oh, you justified it by saying, well, compared to the other side, he was the best option. Well, guess what? When you get in bed with the devil, I don't want to hear you complaining about how hot it is there. Because you chose to hang out with the devil. So you can't complain about the heat. Because you picked it. So all these Republicans, I don't want to hear, oh no, this is wrong. We're above this. Y'all voted. See, let me remind you also, Megyn Kelly, this man led an insurrection, got impeached a second time, and you still supported him after the evil of January 6th. So all people, Megyn Kelly, you can absolutely kiss our collective ass because y'all are full of crap. MAGA is full of crap. He is who he is. An evil, moral degenerate who has no place being near the nuclear codes. In fact, I can remember a certain person who was running for president. And I remember that person was condemning, was slamming, was trashing, saying this man is shameful and pathetic, and he has no business being anywhere near. Y'all remember that? You remember Senator Marco Rubio? Remember all the things that he had to say about Donald Trump and how awful he was and how terrible he was and how this man is going to be an embarrassment to the country? Well, who is standing right next to him every day kissing his ass? The same Marco Rubio, who's now his Secretary of State. So I don't want to hear anything from any of these people. Rebecca Carruthers, President, CEO of Fair Election Center out of D.C., Brian Shapiro, host of Pushing the Limits radio, Joy Cheney, founder of Joy Strategies out of D.C. Glad to have all three of y'all here. I don't care about these people. They're liars, Rebecca. They're not embarrassed. This man was an utter embarrassment when he ran, when he won the first time, and the man refused to even concede the election. He was such an embarrassment. He wouldn't even show up for the inauguration of Joe Biden. And so now you're supposed to think that we're going to believe that, oh, now you're offended, Megyn Kelly? Let me go sit your ass down.
And Roland, she would do it again. Despite what polling is saying that overwhelming majority of Americans aren't happy with the direction that the country is taking, especially with the war in Iran, we still know that many of these same folks who don't like specific decisions will still vote to support President Trump if there was an election held today. And with Megyn Kelly, the grift is real. She sees where the future of her party is going. She also understands the future of where this country is going. And she understands that she was beholden to a very unpopular sentiment. The MAGA movement at some point is going to die a very miserable political death, right? And so she sees it. She wants to make money. She's a capitalist.
What we're dealing with here are indeed grifters, Brian. That's who they are. And again, my whole deal is I'm going to take you for what you said the first time, Marco Rubio. You knew he was a crook. You knew he was corrupt. But you also sold your soul to sit next to him.
Marco Rubio once said that if Donald Trump wasn't running for office and his father didn't give him a $500 million company, he'd be selling fake gold watches in Manhattan. Now, as you said correctly, Roland, he is kissing his ass. What have we gotten from this war? First of all, we were told that there was a ceasefire. Now we learned today there was no written agreement for a ceasefire. Market manipulation. The Strait of Hormuz has closed down again. Both Israel and Iran have broken the ceasefire deal. Iran agreed yesterday to what was this 10-point plan, and this 10-point plan was all for Iran, and no, we didn't get anything out of this thing yet. Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth in his press conference today, Caroline the Liar Levitt, all lying. They're all lying, saying that this was an America First 10-point plan. It was an Iran 10-point plan, and now the war has begun again. And I'd like to know who made $170 million in the market with oil yesterday before Donald Trump announced this alleged ceasefire. I think we should investigate that as well, but I'm sure Kash Patel won't do that. Megyn Kelly has no credibility. These MAGA grifters, as you pointed out, have no credibility. They're despicable. They're disgusting. And, you know, that's why we all call it a cult, Roland. That's why we all call it a cult. What have we gotten out of this war other than our brave men and women coming home in caskets? This costing us $2 billion a day, might I add you. And we've gotten nothing out of this in another 2 weeks. I'm telling you right now, this is not a conspiracy theory. I don't even think there was a ceasefire, Roland. I think this is bullshit. I don't think there was a ceasefire. I think this was market manipulation. The Strait of Hormuz is now closed. They're literally lying about it to the American people today. I mean, I don't know where this war goes. I don't even think Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump know where this war goes. But we're not getting anything out of this deal, and more innocent people are dying, Roland.
You know, Joy, go to my iPad, Henry. Charlie Gasparino, right-winger, CNBC, New York Post, he tweeted, Trump, this is yesterday, Trump just announced a 2-week ceasefire. If they open, and they will because they have nothing. Who were the dopes who talked about war crimes? And so I responded, I said, Trump has announced many things. How do we know if this is true, Charlie? Trump lies about lies. He responded, Roland and Martin's laughing, no, Charlie Gasparino, you're the joke, because you actually believe that fool. We all knew no one believed the ceasefire was real, and Iran is sitting here laughing. And now it's like, oh, Iran's 10-point plan, And it's amazing. The so-called deal looks amazingly like the one Obama had already negotiated, except for this one gives Iran more than even that deal. But this is supposed to be Mr. Art of the Deal, the great negotiator.
Iran is going to have more money after this, right, than they had before, because now people have to pay to gain access more than they were doing before, differently, because there was a deal in place. And this is what Donald Trump consistently does. He tears things down. He creates a crisis to distract from the last crisis. And then he has to create a solution. And then he says, look, we created a solution. But then when you look at the fine print, it's not really a solution. It puts us in a worse position than we were to begin with. Right? And the only people who've somehow made money are his people. Everyone else loses. Donald Trump has once again done what he's done with many of his companies, completely made a mess of things. He is a walking, dangerous disaster. The reason we were talking about war crimes is because what he was tweeting about or truth socialing about is considered a war crime. And Republicans were saying it was considered a war crime. He said it. None of the rest of us would have even thought an American president would openly propose and threaten engaging in a war crime against civilians. It is he that brought that into the forefront. The other thing I'd mention is when you were talking about, who said all these things bad about Donald Trump? Hell, you meant Marco Rubio, but I could have thought you were talking about J.D. Vance. He has, in the past, said horrible things about Donald Trump. I believe he akined him to Hitler, okay? So now he is his vice president. None of these people are credible. They are completely lacking in credibility. The only brand that they have is one of disingenuousness and going with the highest bidder. And the unfortunate part is that now they have, attached themselves to someone that even doesn't reflect their values. I also agree with Rebecca to the extent they have any. I also agree with Rebecca. They're looking beyond and they're turning the page and they're seeing Donald Trump is frankly, really at the end of his term effectively, and that they are trying to move on and get ahead of the curve and be a part of the future of the Republican Party. But at this point, he has many more years in his administration, and they're not going to be able to get away that easily. He is going to destroy not only our country, but their reputations as well.
Again, nothing the man says, I believe. And so now all these people are scrambling, trying to say, oh, well, no, it was really a negotiating ploy. Nah, it's about just pretty being stupid. All right, going to do a quick break. We come back. We're going to talk about how the impact of the war in Iran is having on housing in America. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Why does it feel like we're going backward? Voting rights under attack, schools stripped of funding, Black history erased. This is the Trump MAGA agenda. They want to take us back. They are redrawing congressional lines in states across the country, deciding who gets power and who gets silenced. We see what this is, a power grab. Virginians won't be fooled. Show up, vote, take back our power. It's a temporary measure that gives the people, not politicians, the final say. Vote yes by April 21st.
Hey, I'm T.D. Jakes, and you are watching the Black Star Network.
All right, folks. Listen, we have seen a dramatic increase in prices in many areas. You name it, it's gone up. Gas, food, all sorts of things. But this war with Iran could very well drive us into a recession. Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan Chase, others have talked about the impact of this on the American economy. And it's causing, in so many sectors, price of goods to go up. You talk about the Strait of Hormuz, guess what? It's not just a question of oil coming out of there. You also have products. We had John Boyd on talking about how fertilizer has gone up some 40% for farmers as well. Guess what? Housing is a part of this. Now we're hearing airlines saying fuel is going to be going up. As a result, Delta's fee hike is $10 for the first and second check bag. $50 charge applies to a third suitcase. Yeah, all of this stuff is happening right before us, folks. Spring is normally the busy time for housing. Well, guess what? That's going to be affected as well. Bruce Marks, the founder and CEO of the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation for America, joins us right now. Okay, Bruce, for people who don't understand this, okay, how does this war in Iran impact housing in America?
Well, it's great to be on, Roland. So I would say when we talk about affordability, the one issue, the most important issue around affordability is the cost of housing, whether it's rental or it is to purchase a home. So, yes, we have to be concerned about gas prices and food prices, but affordability is really fundamentally around housing. So when you look at it, since the war in Iran, that, interest rates have gone up between 0.5% and 8%. And that's a significant impact on, people buying homes. And, but the one issue out there that is a bipartisan issue is the cost of housing. And that's where there really is an opportunity to bring down, housing costs for people purchasing and for people renting.
Okay, and obviously interest rates are one thing, but even those building homes, their supplies are increasing, which is going to impact prices.
But if you look at, yes, you have to be concerned about the cost of the resident.
Looks like, all right, what's up with Bruce's signal? Look, we have an issue with Bruce's signal. So let me know we got the signal back. So it dipped in and dipped out there. All right, Bruce, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, so the beginning of that question, we lost your signal. So go ahead and repeat your answer.
Sure. So we can talk about, the building of the housing, and that's clearly important, and the cost is going up. Absolutely. But look, we're losing more homes to these Wall Street landlords, Blackstone, Invitation Homes. Many of these Wall Street landlords are buying up residential properties, stealing the dream of affordable home ownership, and people are generating wealth for the already extremely wealthy and stealing that dream. So like we just did a big event, Roland, in Atlanta. We had over 9,000 home buyers come through the NACA Achieve the Dream event over 3 days. And the number one issue is people saying you can get people pre-approved. You can get people with, NACA's Best in America mortgage, which is no down payment, no closing costs, no fees. And today's fixed rate is 5.5% without consideration of one's credit score. So as good as that is, and as great of an opportunity, if you don't stop these corporate Wall Street landlords for paying cash for properties that should go to home buyers, particularly in the minority community and for, people who've been subjected to systemic racism, that's a devastating impact. So I think the focus has to be more on stopping these Wall Street landlords and then focus on reducing the cost of building. And even President Trump has said that he wants to prevent these corporate landlords. So him and Senator Warren are frankly taking the lead in doing that. And we got to push through that legislation both on the federal level and on the local level.
But here's the deal, Bruce. I don't believe that he's sincere. I believe that was him trying to grab onto something that's hugely popular and it hasn't gone anywhere. So I don't trust Donald Trump at all when it comes to this very issue, at all.
And I would agree with you, but I would put I wouldn't just put that I'm not defending Donald Trump. And I agree that it hasn't gone, but I would put that on re-elected officials across the board. You don't see the Republicans or the Democrats standing up to these Wall Street investors. So I think, but from a grassroots point of view, what you saw with what Donald Trump does, he understands, as does Senator Warren, that this is a grassroots issue that, both parties have to pay attention to. And you see neither party standing up, taking on these Wall Street, investors out there. Get them to do that, and they didn't do that either. So on this one issue, Roland, I would say it's a pox against both of the political parties.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real thing. We've talked about it on this show. I want to bring in my panel right here. You know, Brian, I remember being on CNN in 2009 when the deal was cut with Wall Street. And I criticized President Obama then. I said, if there was any time that we had to fix Wall Street, it was now. They had no choice. There was nothing else they could do. They needed the federal government bailout. And he made a decision to stand them up because he did not want to see the economy recede even further.
Right.
But that was the time to fix it. And what ended up happening, they talked then about toxic assets, and that was mortgages. We bailed them out. They then said, cool, we're going to take this money, shore up our bottom line. I remember Citibank was trading under $1 or something like that. Said, we're going to shore up our bottom line. They held onto those homes. And then when the market recovered, they just decided to start selling off units of 25,000 or so to private equity. And I remember it there in Nevada, in Arizona, other places. And so if you actually had the money, you were like, man, we can get our first home. You can't compete against those Wall Street entities, and they're becoming even more pervasive. And something should be done. Unfortunately, it is not.
Yeah, and you know, Roland, I look at the Biden administration, and we know for 4 years Republicans were blaming Joe Biden for high gas prices. Let me tell you something. It wasn't Joe Biden's choice to become president during a global pandemic, and it certainly wasn't Joe Biden's choice for Vladimir Putin to invade Ukraine. But as I said, for 4 years straight, Republicans blamed Joe Biden for high gas prices. By the way, they were headed in the right direction to the point where Joe Biden left office. But now, all of a sudden, this was a choice. I think all of us could agree on that. Donald Trump made a choice to go to an ill-advised and I would argue illegal war. But now, all of a sudden, we can print money. And gas prices, it's patriotic to spend $6 a gallon for gas. Somehow now it's patriotic. Well, let me tell you something. It's not patriotic. Not at all. And it's interesting because they want to take away Medicaid, which they have for 20 million Americans. They want to take away government programs like food stamps and other programs away from Americans because we need to conserve, right? Where are all those Doge people now? We're spending $2 billion a day on this war. Gas prices are through the roof. But those same people that were blaming Barack Obama, that were blaming Joe Biden, now all of a sudden it's okay. Roland, these are some of the biggest hypocrites on the planet. It's despicable. It's disgusting. This was a choice. And Democrats always seem to have to pick up the mess every single time. Barack Obama did it coming out of the George W. Bush economy, which was horrible. Another ill-advised war, no weapons of mass destruction. And Obama had to get us out of that hole. Joe Biden did the same thing after Donald Trump's first administration. And now it appears as though, and let's hope that a Democrat is going to have to do it again. And I repeat, this is important. This was a choice that Donald Trump made to go to war in Iran. It wasn't Joe Biden's choice taking over as president during a pandemic, but it's never cause and effect with these Republicans when a Democrat is in office. But then when it's somebody's choice, they're okay with printing money. Again, the biggest hypocrites on the planet, Roland.
The thing here, Bruce, that I think
yes.
Go ahead.
But let me just add this. I think the Democrats have to be more than just being anti-Trump. And that, you know, there's really an opportunity, and people on the grassroots level want to see the solutions out there that the Democrats or the Republicans, but someone's dealing with affordable housing crisis, and it's not there. You know, you have unanimous consent that we have a housing crisis. No one disputes that. But you tell me out there, what are the actual solutions? I mean, we put forth legislation in Georgia called the NADA Act, Neighborhood Ownership, Transparency, and Accountability Act. So that will limit what these Wall Street landlords can own. It will hold them, it'll make it transparent so you can break through the LLCs. And they'll hold them accountable to make sure that the properties is inspected and up to good standards every year. That's the kind of legislation we need on the federal level and on the state level. And if I can add one more thing, we remember what built the white middle class after World War II. it was the VA no down payment mortgage. That should be the standard that everybody stands with, saying we can rebuild our neighborhoods with a no down payment, no closing cost mortgage, and take what NAC is doing and make that the national standard. But we don't see those solutions out there. And we have to be better than just anti-Trump. We have to have those affordable solutions. Thank you.
Well, on that particular point there, when I look at what's happening with this war in Iran, it does have an impact on housing in another way, Joy. When Donald Trump submitted his budget, guess what? There are cuts in that budget to housing programs. Again, here we are with a housing crisis, and their response is, remember, he gave that speech to all those so-called Christians in the East Room. Oh, well, you know, we can't afford daycare. We can't afford Medicare, Medicaid, because we got to pay for this military. So what? Screw Americans when it comes to homes in order to blow up another country and destroy somebody else's homes?
I mean, exactly. The truth is Donald Trump doesn't care about average, everyday people. I think he's made that clear. And if it sounds like we're a broken record, it is because he is so consistent across almost every area. One of the reasons you don't have indiscriminate wars is that they also have unintended consequences. Intended and unintended consequences. This happens to be one. But this is also about having a lack of focus on America first, right? Which is one of the things that he promised. Focusing on the things that average, everyday Americans are dealing with. The fact that the American dream is further and further out of their grasp. Home ownership, affordable home ownership. Today, Rebecca and I are part of two of the same organizations. I won't name them tonight, but in one of the things we did is we worked with a group of girls. And today we were talking about the policy issues that these girls care about. And the number one issue that they named was housing affordability in Washington, D.C. This is a common issue that average, everyday people care about. So they don't want to hear that their federal government is completely uninterested in addressing their issues. But Bruce is right. There were times where Democrats had a chance to do more. I used to work on housing issues. I will tell you, there were opportunities where we could have had a more aggressive strategy around down payment assistance, a more aggressive strategy around all these things. And when we have the opportunity again, because one day Donald Trump has created the environment where Democrats can have an opportunity again because he is so foolish. When we have an opportunity again, we must be Trumpian in our desire to push for the things that we care about and that we know the American people care about. We have to have an affirmative strategy. They need NACA-style assistance. You should not have to have a wealthy parent who left you money or have some large signing bonus to get a down payment in this country.
Bruce, now obviously the budget is submitted by the White House, but Congress has its own priorities. And I'm quite sure you're going to have Republicans and Democrats say, no, we're going to keep the money in the budget for housing. Hopefully.
So what you're seeing now is like just in the last day or two, the House has zeroed out the counseling budget for HUD's housing counseling program. So that's one of a number of things that are being cut. But the fact of the matter is, I think we have to also look at the silver lining. The bad news is he's undermining government. He is, hollowing out government. But there's an opportunity to really do things in a better way than was done before. So, for example, we are working with people with a Section 8 housing choice voucher, and to use that voucher for the mortgage payment. And so in 15 years, someone with a Section 8 is able to own their house free and clear without the dependency of the Section 8 government assistance. That's a model. What you're seeing Mandani doing in New York City, making government work, and the local governments, we got to take those models in the local government, not just NACA, but Mandani and other entities. And when we have that opportunity after Trump, and maybe even before, to put that as the national standard. That's the opportunity that we have to embrace and we have to do. And there's a lot of people on the local level doing that. But the housing programs in the government in the past has not worked the way that they should work. So it's an opportunity to reinvent how we do mortgages and how we do housing development. For example, we're building modular housing, beautiful modular housing in Selma, Alabama, and selling those 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,450 square feet houses for $169,500. That should be the standard out there. So affordability should be less than $200,000, not $300,000 and $400,000. That's what we have to do, and we're doing that with no government subsidies. So that's the standard out there that I think we have an opportunity to do nationwide. And you know, and I'll just add one more thing to it. We know it works because at NACA we have an attitude that if we build it, people will come. And we got thousands and thousands of home buyers in Atlanta, St. Louis, around the country coming because people are looking for affordable solutions. We need to do this from the grassroots up. Thank you.
Rebecca?
Yes, so Bruce, both of you and Joy brought up some really good points about how previous policy, I think about 2008, 2009, could have been stronger to actually support keeping people in their homes and keeping the cost of home building and home ownership lower. I remember all of the debate around TARP, trouble acid recovery program, and how that money was used to bail out I remember the slogan, bailing out Wall Street instead of Main Street. And the concept was if you gave money directly to the people, they would be able to pay and actually to stay in their homes. And I think about how it impacted the Black community, that billions of dollars in Black wealth was effectively lost because of people being forced out of their homes and not be able to afford their mortgages anymore. So I'm thinking about, so when we think about what it looks like beyond the current administration, and we think about the types of priorities of whoever the party is that's in control, what are like the top 3 big priorities that we should see to encourage home ownership, and especially among Black folks in this country, since we know the wealth gap is there in part because of housing?
Bruce, are you still there? Bruce, did you hear a question?
Yes. Sorry, I was just trying to turn on the lights here.
Don't worry about it. Just go ahead and talk. We got you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So that opportunity is there. I mean, but we have to be really clear. During the Obama administration, so much. There were over 3 million. Over 3 million. Homeowners, overwhelmingly people of color, who lost their homes through no fault of their own during the Obama administration, where he was criticizing, where he said it was a responsibility for both the homeowner and the investors. So the fact of the matter is, the programs out there, we know what works. We know it's a huge issue out there, and that we have to implement those on a massive scale. I mean, I don't understand why we have nonprofit developers out there who are charging $300 a square foot to build homes. And that's the focus of the Congress. I'm sorry, excuse me. And we need to be able to, with NACA is showing a model where we can build homes for less than $100 a square foot. That should be what we can do on a national level.
All right. Bruce, I appreciate it. Look, it's a huge issue, and we certainly hope to see lawmakers do something about it. We certainly appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. Thank you.
All right, folks. Got to go to the break. We come back. Today is Henry Aaron Day. 58 years ago, Henry Aaron broke Babe Ruth's career record, 714 home runs. And we come back, we'll honor Henry Aaron. And that's why, of course, you see me. Y'all know I'm an Astros fan. I only rock H-Town. So you only see me wearing 2 people's jerseys. Of course, Hank Aaron, number 44 for the Braves, April 8th, and then April 15th is Jackie Robinson Day, so I'll be rocking his Dodgers 42 jersey. So we'll talk about that, and I'll also share an interview that I did with Henry Aaron a few years ago. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Support the work that we do. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. If you want to contribute via Cash App, use a Stripe QR code. You see it right here. That's for credit cards as well. Check some money order. Make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 2003 7-0196. PayPal's R Martin Unfiltered, Venmo RM Unfiltered, Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com, Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. We'll be right back.
Protect your mind. I love you, son. And your mother. More than anything. And I'm gonna keep doing the best I can to prove it. If you're seeing it in your mind, you can create it. Protect your mind, son. It's your greatest asset. Protect your mind.
Virginia, we are counting on you. Republicans want to steal enough seats in Congress to rig the next election and wield unchecked power for 2 more years. But you can stop them by voting yes by April 21st. Help put our elections back on a level playing field and let voters decide, not politicians. This is the responsible thing to do. Help us chart a better path forward, Virginia. Vote yes by April 21st.
With medicine and science under attack, I want to keep you and your family informed and healthy. I'm Dr. Ebony Hilton, and I knew at the age of 8 that I wanted to be a doctor. So I studied hard and became the first African-American female anesthesiologist hired at the Medical University of South Carolina since its opening in 1824. And I always say I was made into a doctor, but I was born to be a mom. And as a new mom, wife, sister, daughter, and friend, I understand how frightening a medical crisis can be. I care for individuals on some of the worst days of their lives, and it's my mission to provide you with a safe space to gain clarity on issues affecting your mind, body, and soul. I recognize that there are health disparities, particularly as it pertains to race, and I want to help bridge the gap between you and your healthcare providers. Join me every Thursday for Second Opinion on the Black Star Network, where each week I'll invite experts from various medical fields to share the latest health news. We'll discuss topics such as the vaccine debate, mental and sexual health, medical bias, infertility, menopause, andropause, nutrition, and aging. Together with my medical colleagues, we aim to provide you with a second opinion. Don't miss it, Thursdays only on the Black Star Network.
MAGA Republicans ended diversity programs, cut funding for Black students, and fired federal employees. And they won't stop there. Now, they've redrawn congressional maps so that they can rig the November elections. But we have the power to stop them. By voting yes for fair elections, we have the final say on who represents us in Congress. This is a temporary measure to restore fairness. They are not backing down, and neither can we. Make a plan to vote by April 21st and vote yes for fair elections.
How you doing? I'm Mark Curry, and you're watching the Black Star Network. That's why I got these glasses on, because that black star is bright.
And stay a professional and pitch his game. 1 ball and no strikes. Aaron waiting, the outfield deep and straight away. Fastball is a high drive into deep left center field. Buckner goes back to the fence. It is gone. baseball. What a marvelous moment for Atlanta and the state of Georgia. What a marvelous moment for the country and the world. A black man is getting a standing ovation in the Deep South for breaking a record of an all-time baseball idol. And it is a great moment for all of us, and particularly for Henry Aaron, who was met at home plate not only by every member of the Braves, but by his father and mother. He threw his arms around his father, and as he left the home plate area, his mother came running across the grass, threw her arms around his neck, kissed him for all she was worth. As Aaron circled the bases, the Dodgers on the infield shook his hand, and that was a memorable moment. Aaron is being mobbed by photographers. He is holding his right hand high in the air, and for the first time in a long time, that poker face of Aaron shows the tremendous strain and relief of what it must have been like to live with for the past several months. It is over. At 10 minutes after 9 in Atlanta, Georgia, Henry Aaron has eclipsed the mark set by Babe Ruth. You could not, I guess, get two more opposite men. The Babe, big and garrulous and oh so sociable, and oh so immense in all of his appetites. And then the quiet lad out of Mobile, Alabama, slender and stayed slender throughout his career. Ruth, as he put on the...
Folks, history was made on April 8th, 1974. And what was really crazy about that, you see that film, his mom hugging him, she was afraid that a sniper was going to take a shot at her son. And she said, if they shoot, they wouldn't have to hit me and hit him. Henry Aaron dealt with massive amounts of racism in America in breaking that record. It was not a great opportunity for him. He went through hell, did not get to enjoy it at all. Armed security guards, the racist letters and stuff that came to the offices of the Atlanta Braves. But he kept on. He eventually hit 755 home runs. Historic career. Entered the Cooperstown, the Baseball Hall of Fame. Went on to become a baseball executive and also a big-time entrepreneur businessman in Atlanta. Well, 2017, I got an opportunity to sit down and chat with him at Operation Hope's Global Hope Forum, and this was our conversation. I want to talk a little business with you, but first, Saturday, 70th anniversary, Jackie Robinson, Major League Baseball, 20th anniversary of them retiring his number in all of Major League Baseball. Just finished reading his book, I Never Had It Made. And I said to anybody, you have to read this book to understand that this was a different kind of brother.
Yes, he was. And now that we're talking about it, you know, they're getting ready to erect a statue of him in Los Angeles Saturday. It just so happened that I've gotten 3 or 4 calls, and I'm just wishing, trying to figure out a way that I can be there. And Rachel, who doesn't travel that much, is going to be there with him, you know, going to see that the statue be erected. So I am very proud. And, you know, the thing I think that I think about with Jackie Robinson and the thing that he went through, it wasn't just baseball, hitting the baseball, but he had to be such a gentleman off the field. I mean, they expected him to walk on eggshells, you know, really. And
his inner self, though, was one always to fight back.
Yeah, well, that's right.
So to temper that.
Yes. So he just had it. And the last time I saw Jackie, of course, was at, I believe it was in Cincinnati, when he made a statement and said, I'll be more happier than anybody in the world if I can see a black man at least coaching third base. So those are the things, and those are the things that really made me feel like I was walking in the footsteps of a giant.
I've said this repeatedly. Some people got mad at me. I didn't care if they did get mad at me. So there was so much made out of the first African American in Major League Baseball. But I've reversed it. I've said, no, the best major league talent was in the Negro Leagues. That was called major leagues because they had better stadiums, better uniforms, travel. I said, but when it came to the talent, I said, the major leagues was the Negro Leagues.
Oh, it's no question about it. Absolutely no question. In fact, when anybody talked to me about my upbringing and how I came about and started playing baseball so rapidly, I said I got my education through the minor leagues, playing in the Negro League with players that really helped me learn how to play the game the way it was supposed to be played.
And the reason I think that's important is because if we keep perpetuating this notion that we're trying to be accepted into their arena, we are negating the excellence that was in our own place. It's sort of like there's so much made about when an African American kid gets accepted to an Ivy League school, or they get accepted to an HBCU. People go, okay, whatever. When I go, wait a minute, why do you think that is better than this?
Well, actually, baseball was a dull game before we started playing. And when I say we, I'm talking about people like Jackie Robinson, Campanella, and Newcomb, and all of them. And then along came, of course, our guys like Maury Wills and et cetera, who really put some excitement back in the game. Baseball was just a game like hit a baseball, Babe Ruth hit a baseball, stay at first base, hit another base. It was like that. It was really, to be very honest with you, it was a very dull game compared to what it was later on when those players came along and really put some excitement back in the game. It's kind of like, I guess you would kind of say that it was kind of like boxing until Muhammad Ali came along and really started showing and putting a little pep into it. It was
substance and style.
Yes, that's what it was, and that's the way baseball was,
Jackie Robinson retires, goes into business. You finish playing, go into business. Folks don't talk about the reality of how sports legends also began to break barriers when it came to the business side. Because up until the early 1970s, African Americans were not allowed into corporate America.
Well, you're absolutely right. And I'll tell you how I got into it, really. I was traveling on a plane one day, and I happened to be on the same plane as Mr. Frank Bellotti, who owned Church's Chicken at the time, who was involved in Church's Chicken. And he asked me, did I want to go in business? And I said, yes, I'd love to. He said, well, what, do you want to open up a restaurant? I said, yes, just give me an opportunity. And it's like anything else, all we want to do is just give them a chance and make the playing field a little level so we can have the same opportunity as you had.
Just give us a shot.
That's all we want. And I said, just give me an opportunity. He said, do you know anything? I said, I don't need to know it, just give me an opportunity to do some things that I wanted to do. And he did. And I went from 1 to 2, and what do we got now? I think we got something like 25 or 30 restaurants.
And then you went to other areas.
I went to an automobile business. Yeah, I got that. And so it was, all we wanted to do, as I said before, and I keep saying this, in everything, no matter what it is, we had the President of the United States did such a mob and a hell of a job. And there is absolutely no reason that we can't do anything that we want to do once the playing field get level and we can have an opportunity to do those things.
Obviously today is different when you see baseball players making $100, $200, $300 million. They don't have to create that second career. But what do you say to them when it comes to making that amount of money, the kind of impact they could have post-baseball career?
And I think about that. I think about when I first started playing baseball. When I first started playing baseball, I started with $5,000 a year as a salary. That was my salary. And playing in the Negro League, I made $200 a month. But, I didn't let that stop me from doing what I had to do. I realized that things were going to get better. And I realized that if I keep my head above water and do what I'm supposed to do, that I was going to make as much money as I wanted to make and share it with as many people as I wanted to share it with. And that was the most important thing.
We go through so much when you look at just the history of the black athlete. You look at it, whether it's basketball, whether it's baseball, whether it's football. And there's no doubt, I believe, that you can tie in the advancement of African Americans in civil rights in this country to the success of black athletes, making it clear, as you said, as what James Brown said, just open the door and I get it myself.
Right. Well, they forget about Kurt Flood. And if it don't be for Kurt Flood, the millions of dollars who these athletes are making now would not have a chance. And
basketball forgets about Spencer Haywood.
Yes, I think about all of these things, and I had a chance to look at some of the athletes, especially some of the athletes that was played way back, Bill Russell and et cetera. You can go on and on and on, who paved the way for all of us to be where we are. I realized that just because I was making $200 a month or making $5,000 a year, that I wasn't going to always stay there. If given the opportunity, and I fought like hell to make doors open for me, to show people that if given the opportunity, not only me, but every black can do the same thing.
Is that why, for you, speaking at this conference is important? Because you're talking about creating opportunities, and this is about connecting people. It's about relationships. It's about somebody who has an idea, who's looking for funding, who's looking for somebody who says, I believe in you.
It is. It gives me a chance. Of course, I've been knowing Andy for a long time, but it's given me an opportunity to talk to so many young people and people who have been able to make some money, but also been able to say, well, just because I make money, it doesn't necessarily mean that it belongs to you. You have to learn what we have to do. And I say this, I think the most important thing is that we have to learn how to share. We have to learn how to share whatever our wealth is, if we make $10, we ought to learn how to split that down and share it with others. And that's what I like to do.
Do you miss the locker room? Do you miss mixing it up, the relationships? And have you ever been able to replicate that?
No, I have not missed the locker room, and I say that not bragging or anything. I think that after 23 years of playing baseball, I tell this story often, and I probably will share it with some people today, is that I remember in Baltimore, I had a friend of mine, and he and I went out to dinner one night. It was a sports writer, and I told him, I said, I can't. The balls that I hit now, that I used to hit over the fence, they don't get no further than the warning tracks. I said, I slide to second base, and I get halfway, and that's it. I said, the good Lord has shown me that He's given me the opportunity to play this game for 23 years and do everything humanly possible that I could do. Home runs batted in, playing in the All-Star Game, World Series, and et cetera. And I said, now it's time for me to show my blessing and my appreciation and give it to other people and let them go with it.
You talked, before we started rolling cameras, you talked about going on family graduations.
Yes.
Children.
Yes.
Do they really understand your greatness?
My granddaughter does, very much so. She's into sports. And every time I go up there to visit her, she says, Papa, please, I want you to be interviewed by a sports writer. She happened to be a young lady. But I think they do. I think at first they don't. No, when they're young, 4, 5, 6 years old, no. But I think that most of my kids, which I'm blessed to say that most of them are in their teens and understand, I think they understand that what I've been through.
And speaking of being through, Jack Robinson went through a lot. You went through hell breaking that Major League home run baseball record.
Yes.
And I don't think the average person understands what that level of pressure is like. And frankly, for a white baseball player, and I say it all the time, they can just play ball. I say it all the time. We would love just to be able just to go to the store and not worry about getting shot, getting followed around. We would love to be able just to be able to drive down the street and not worry about getting pulled over by the cops because of the kind of car that you drive. It is just a different kind of life.
Well, it was different. It was different for me. It was different for me chasing that record. Really. You'd think that the only thing I was doing was bringing a little pleasure to people's mind. Enjoying a baseball game, and yet I had to have 2 or 3. Maynard Jackson, who was a mayor at that time, fixed me with 2 detectives that was with me all the time. Half the time I couldn't stay at the ballpark. I had to stay in a hotel room all the time. I had to have Casanova, who was a friend of mine, to bring food to me in the hotel. So yes, things were a lot different for me than they would be for, I say this, and no pun intended, like Pete Rose was going after the record. He enjoyed it. I didn't have any enjoyment when I was going after Babe Ruth's record, because every letter I received, people were threatening me and doing all these things. So I had to worry about staying alive,
right,
or doing some other things.
I look at players today. They want to play football. They want to play basketball. I grew up playing baseball, but then there was a point where I fell out of love. I fell out of love with it. When you see the few number of black players today, what crosses your mind?
I'm worried about it, really. I am. I'm worried about it, and I have brought this to the commissioner, even Bud Selig, who was commissioner before, and I've brought it to Ron Manfred. I brought it to all of mine that, that it's a problem. It is a problem. And how do we solve it? It's a long issue, really. It's something that I think that if you think about, when you think about the economic struggle that and I'm talking about we as black folks have in this country, if it's a struggle, we gonna feel the pinch. Black folks gonna feel it more than anybody. And when we talk about baseball is a very, very expensive sport, because you have to have the right field to play on, you have to have the bat to play with, the glove to play with, and if your mother and father is not working to do these things, it can't do you any good. So I think that I just like to. I don't know what I can say to say that I hope that in the next few years that we can see more blacks playing this game.
There's a kid out there right now, cannot hit home runs, can't steal bases, can't do any of those things, but they can be an entrepreneur. They can be a CEO. Your advice for them?
I think that the thing that I tell most kids, most young people, that's in fact, if they don't want to play baseball, there is things that they can do. The most important thing, I think I try to tell all kids, that there is no shortcut in life. Make sure that, if you want to play baseball, take it one step at a time. Some people can jump over a double-A ball and get to the major league, or you can do things the right way. Now, if you want to go into business, you got to treat people right. The most important thing, you got to treat people right and act like it is a business. The most important thing, when I was the automobile business, or whatever I did, I didn't care whether a customer came in my store and was going to spend $1.50 on a flag or anything. I treated that customer the same way that I would treat a customer that came in and had his motor overhauled. So I think that you got to learn how to do that.
All right, then. Hammer and Hank Aaron, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
Folks, again, it was great to absolutely know Henry Aaron and bring my panel here. I'll tell you, Joy, we were at, it was the White House. It was one of the Black History Month receptions, and we were waiting for Obama, I think, was meeting with different civil rights leaders. And we were waiting for it to start. And so we're there in the hallway, and so I see Harry Belafonte sitting next to Henry Aaron. Both of them got their canes, and they're just sitting there. And this may have been, and I have a photo, so I've been trying to find it. I'll find it. So I walk up and I said, I have been, wanting to meet you. Now I already knew Mr. B. We were already friends. So Henry Aaron, he stands up, and I said, no, go and sit seated. He's like, no. He said, I've been waiting to meet you. I'm standing up to meet you. And he begins to talk about loving my show, what I have to say. And so here I am, a fan of his, and he's a fan of mine. And so we connected, traded numbers, and it was a couple of years later when they had theirs. So every year he would pick 4 people to honor for his annual award. And he chose Hank, who was one of the Freedom Riders, Cito Gaston, the first black manager to win a World Series, Alexis Herman, and me. And we're going to stream that discussion. It was a panel discussion. They actually took us around the field on us before the game, and it was just an amazing experience. But that's who he was, the nicest man in the world. Kind, but really someone who really a pioneer, not only in the game, but for a lot of folks who became a highly successful businessman after his playing days were over.
I mean, the best part of that whole thing was when he said the number one thing you have to do if you're a person in business, you have to treat people right. Those types of ethics, like that high character, that high mark for behavior and decorum and treatment of, humanity, man's humanity to man, is so, it feels, not popular today. We have a president who, doesn't, virtue flex or virtue signal. He vice signals, right? He encourages the worst in us. He's the devil in that way. At least I feel so, and I'm sure others agree. And then to see this dignified man in Mr. Aaron be able to say, those are the things we want to aspire to. The fact that when you see someone, right, who's younger than you, but who you admire, you're humble enough to say, you're admiring me, but guess what? I'm admiring you. I mean, that's what we used to aspire to in our leaders. So I know there are many things we could take away, but, I've been thinking a lot about that. Why is it that we seem to have a race to the bottom in terms of ethics? We started tonight with leaders who have no core and no base to speak of, right? And can go with the wind and can support bad people. It doesn't matter. And this man was not that. And you would have needed that fortitude, that dignity, that honor, that strength of character to endure what he endured, to achieve what he achieved, but to endure what he endured, and then to go on and be successful in other arenas after the game was over. So, that was a really great segment, Roland. And, you are someone's hero. So I'm glad he acknowledged it and gave you your flowers as you did him.
When we think about all of that, a lot of folks, I think, Brian, today they see these athletes and they oh my goodness, they think about present day LeBron James, Michael Jordan. They think about Aaron Judge. They think about all of this, and when you listen to these players talk about, how difficult things are, the things that they have to do and stuff along those lines.
Sure.
And then you go, okay, but when you hear the stories of Oscar Robinson and Henry Aaron and Bill Russell, when you see these documentaries, I mean, these are people who you had portions of America who were cheering them on. But even there were people who were cheering them on the field, despised them off the field.
Yeah, really good point, Roland. And it's interesting because, I grew up a Boston Celtics fan, and you just brought up Bill Russell, who I had the pleasure of meeting here years ago in Las Vegas. Just the stuff that he had to go through, and as you know, the racism that took place in Boston. When I look at that home run, I'm almost 46 years old, right? I wasn't old enough to watch that live. I believe it was 52 years ago. Listening to Vin Scully make that call and watching him as we watch it right now, and then watching him round the bases and hug members of his family. And let's remember, in that era, and 52 years ago, having an entire stadium of people, I would imagine some of those people probably didn't like black people, were probably racist. But to have everybody in that stadium standing up, giving him a standing ovation, it's an emotional moment. It should be for everybody, not just historians from a racial standpoint. And then you talk about what he accomplished in business. I think of him a little bit like I think of like a Magic Johnson, a little bit of a different era, but how successful Magic Johnson has been in business after basketball. But I just watching that moment, it was very rare back then. And you think of all the people that he paved the way for, not just in sports, but in business as well. A legend. Here's what I'm very grateful for, besides what we've already discussed here, is that at least he was able to see the first black president, right? He passed away, I think, 5 years ago, Roland, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
He was able to witness the first black president, which is so awesome. And at least he was able to watch Joe Biden defeat Donald Trump. I'm grateful for that, too. I'm so jealous, Roland, that you were able to have that relationship with him. What a wonderful man. And watching that home run, I haven't watched it in a little bit. It brings tears to a lot of people's eyes. And what an incredible moment. One of the most historic moments, not just in sports, but when it comes to race as well, and how it, collides with sports. It really was a special moment. And I really enjoyed that interview you did with him. I thought you did a great job.
Well, I'm gonna make you slightly more jealous, Brian, and I'm gonna
okay.
I'm gonna make you slightly more jealous. Somebody who you mentioned who was also a fan of mine, who I got to meet, who when I first met him, he went, "I know you," and that was Bill Russell. And Bill Russell.
Wow.
Bill Russell was also famous for he not signing autographs. And when he
didn't like that.
well, he not always. So not always. So he.
Can I just say? Can I defend him real quickly though, Roland?
Hold
okay?
on. I want to show you this. I want to show you this. Hold on. Make sure this is connected. And
this is cruel.
No, I'm just saying. When he mentioned, I was like, "Oh God!" I was like, "Should I?"
This man is about to cry on TV.
I was like, "Should I do it?" Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So Russell, so Brian Russell again. He was not. He was not always about signing autographs. But when they republished his book, "Go Up for Glory." His wife also hit me up. I know his daughter as well. And this came in the mail. Actually it popped up. Let's see if we get it back. This came in the mail, Brian. And I right here. Hold on, man. Why is the connection not staying? Hold on. See, they don't want me to be right. They don't want me. Okay, I think we got it now. It keeps popping out. So it came in the mail, and he actually sent me an autographed copy of that book. So Bill Russell did not like signing autographs, but he did sign. He did sign, and it's crazy. It stays up, and then it goes off. All right, we're going to show it in a minute. Go ahead. Let's see. This will stay up now. Let's see. Or will it pop off? What's wrong with my HDMI line? There you go, Brian.
There it is.
Bill Russell.
Wow.
And I hope people go watch his Netflix documentary. It's unbelievable. Rebecca?
This history is incredible. Is also the reason why the state of Texas, the state of Florida, the state of Arkansas doesn't want this taught in their schools. The reason why they don't want it taught in their schools is when you think about baseball today, it's typically a lot of white players and then it's Cuban players. There's been a lot of black erasure in baseball. While I'm not the biggest baseball fan, I do remember growing up and seeing Ken Griffey Jr. and seeing Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders and understanding that they were superstars and they played baseball. Obviously, Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders also they weren't just limited to baseball. The reason why I'm bringing this up is like when you think about how expensive baseball has become and has made it less accessible for kids across the country, and that's a shame because oftentimes this country talks about how baseball is such an American sport and it's such a rite of passage. But what's unfortunate is that all kids get to experience that rite of passage and to understand the history of baseball and the excellence of baseball. I'm also thinking about some of my family members who were a part of the Negro League. I didn't realize this growing up. It wasn't until I was an adult and I was able to see those family artifacts and to understand the history that, many of us, across the country, we have family members who were a part of that history as well.
Absolutely. And if y'all have not seen, you mentioned Ken Griffey, he is a friend. But if y'all probably missed this, Sunday on NBC, it's probably on Peacock, you can watch it. They had a special called Number 24. So Ken Griffey last year, Ken Griffey is now an accomplished photographer. And so what happened was last year, he got a chance to photograph the Masters. And they did an entire hour. It's an unbelievable special. And it was like I say, it was just unbelievable. So, matter of fact, yeah, they actually have it up. So if you actually go to, let's do this here. I'm gonna play the trailer. And again, folks, if you know his history, his dad, of course, played in Major League Baseball. Unbelievable player as well. And Ken Griffey Jr. really pays homage to the players before him, like Henry Aaron and like so many others. It was really great. The Masters produced this. This was the trailer. Y'all go to Peacock and check it out.
Friends, Jim Nance, along with Masters champion Trevor Immelman, we welcome you to this tradition unlike any other.
This is only just beginning today, and we've got to get a little bit more serious than we've been so far. We need pictures with sense of place, pictures that say Masters. Think about making sure that your pictures will stand out in a set of 8 photographers' work. And we have a young photographer in the corner, new to this, coming to join us today. This is an amateur photographer who's turned up at the Masters. He is not one of our professional chasers who'll produce day in, day out 40 pictures a day.
I get some doors open.
Yeah, it's called Photographer Number 24. It's pretty great. Again, I really hope folk understand, why we do this, why we talk about greats like Henry Aaron, and also why I believe it's important for us to document these stories too, because for too many people, the stories don't get told, and I am a stickler about going back into the archives. We pulled a lot of information. There was a conversation in 2017 between Henry Aaron and Andrew Young at Global Hope Forum. We're going to stream that after the show is over. And we're going to also stream the opportunity that we had as well with that session with the Braves and Henry Aaron, who was sitting front row, and his wife Johnny. And these people, what they endured, what they went through, cannot be overstated. And when I think about present day ball players, every time I'm at the NBA All-Star game, I see Spencer Haywood. I mean, this is the guy who sued. Oh, yeah. His case went to the Supreme Court and he won. If you are a young ball player today, guess what? Every time you see this man, you should be saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Yep. And so
this is a good guy.
And a lot of people, they just don't fully understand that. This actually, so when they had that weekend with Henry Aaron, it was a big weekend. They had a concert after MC Hammer performed. This was the package that we produced at TV One.
think sports is playing the role it should be playing right now?
Sports can't play the role unless the people in sports assume the role. So it's not the role that sports plays. Who's actually playing sports? What is the level of consciousness of individuals who are actually playing the game? If you don't bring the consciousness to the table, nothing is actually going to happen. One of the reasons, as Cito said, one of the reasons you see more players speaking out because the money has changed. Freedom, money also brings freedom. When your checkbook can be controlled, then your mouth and your mind can be controlled. And that's, and I don't care what that is. I mean, I was Cito and I were talking backstage, and you know, I spent 6 years at CNN, and the way I operate, I'm not going to be, there are two things for me. You can be present or you can have presence. I'm not trying to be present. You're gonna feel my presence, even if you don't like it. When I did the Monique show a few years ago on BET, she said, you know, Roland, you know, you say stuff on TV, I'm afraid you're gonna get fired. I said, well, first of all, I start every job with the premise I'm gonna get fired anyway. I mean, three things are gonna happen. You're gonna get fired, leave, or you're gonna stay. All right. So I just don't believe being there and saying nothing and doing nothing. How can you talk about what's happening in society if you don't deal with the league, and then you don't deal with the team, then you don't deal with teammates? And so the question is, how do you have an impact? Are you present or do you have presence? And I think what we're lacking enough players who have a level of consciousness where they are informed enough to speak on issues. And then if they don't know, they call somebody first. I can tell you there are players who have said stuff, and I'll call them and say, bro, you know what the hell you're talking about. So before you talk again, call me first before you open your mouth, because you look crazy. Same thing with a lot of entertainers, and I've done that with a lot of different people. And they'll hit me up and they say, hey, Roland, this is going on. What do you think? Should I say this here? Yes, no, and we'll go with that deal. But that has to be in here. If it's not in here, it's not going to happen. And the power of your position also dictates your level of influence.
Right.
The reason Colin Kaepernick still doesn't have a job in the NFL is because not enough star players are standing with Colin Kaepernick. Not the dude who on special teams who can get cut.
Right.
You're not going to cut the guy you paying $80 million.
The headliners, the people
and
you
so,
can't afford.
Right, and they're scared. How are you scared when you're making $70 million? And half of your contract is guaranteed. We just saw the other day, Chris Long became the first white player to actually stand with a black player when it came to protesting with the national anthem. And so even with that, people are saying, how dare you protest the national anthem? First of all, read the actual national anthem, not just the parts we sing. Read the third stanza.
Yep.
See, and that's part of the problem. Where we stand today in America is that we are operating based upon his story and not history.
In honor of Hank Aaron Heritage Weekend, tonight, the Atlanta Braves are celebrating Negro League Baseball. Joining us on the field.
So, folks, we're going to have that full conversation after today's show, so I hope you definitely check that out, because it was great to hear from Hank, one of the Freedom Riders, from, let's say, Cito Gaston, Alexis Herman, and it was pretty cool. So we had a great time. And in fact, what was really interesting, I did an interview with Henry Aaron about Colin Kaepernick, and we were watching the game, and I'd asked him, had he ever met or talked to him? He said no. So I called Kaepernick and put them on the phone for them to talk. And when we did the interview, that's when all the different networks grabbed it. ESPN had me on the air talking about it. And Hank Aaron was quite vocal about what Colin Kaepernick was doing, was supportive of what Colin Kaepernick was doing, and wasn't afraid to actually say something. This is what he said.
I do. I think you.
No, it's not. Okay.
I think
Hold it again. So, Hank, you got some thoughts about Colin Kaepernick?
Well, I think he's getting the wrong deal. I think that if I look at, I've been watching pro ball for a long time, and I think that if you look at all of the quarterbacks in the league right now, I think you have to say he is 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think anybody can do the things that he do. So, you know, I just wish somebody would open up and give him a chance to do his thing and say, hey, you know, he's entitled to whatever he did, and let's forget about it, and let's go on with it.
And do you want to see other players stand up and stand with him?
I'd love to see some other players stand up. I would love that. I think it would give him some incentive. I think it would help him. I think the thing that bothers me about this whole situation is the fact that he has gone to all these camps, I suppose, and really, and nobody seemed to think that he stands a chance of being number one. Here's a man that a young player who almost carried a team to a championship, to a Super Bowl. I remember that because I was a Raven fan and he was playing against my team, the Ravens. But be that as it may, I think that somebody needs to give this young man a chance.
And clearly owners are making a decision that they do not want him signed.
I think this decision is coming from the owners. I don't think that it's coming from the general manager. I do know that Harbaugh and also Ozzie Newsome, I'm not putting them in harm's way, but I say that if they look at it and say, hey, let's open the season up, we can't open the season up with Flacco, then who's the second best?
Look, you went through the experience, Jackie Robinson, players standing up. Here's a guy who's speaking about police brutality, what's happening to African Americans. It is if they're saying, we want you guys to just shut up, play ball.
Yeah, you know, and to be honest with you, I can understand what you're saying. Those days are gone by. You know, I talked to my grandson who's now going in college, and I try to tell him that, you know, when you're stopped by a policeman or something, unfortunately, you have your own right. You can tell people what to do. Now, when I was growing up, to be honest with you, many, many years ago, my mother always told me, say, if you got stopped by a cop, just throw your hands down and that's the end of it. But today, these kids are very smart. You know, and they understand and they know exactly what's going on.
Well, Colin was very appreciative of your words when you talked to him.
Yes, yes. And I really enjoyed speaking with him. And I just hope that somebody, I really do, I just hope that somebody will find a way to give him a chance to play.
Got it. All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the honor.
Thank you.
That's called leadership right there, folks. And so, yes, Hank Aaron passed away 5 years ago, and hopefully baseball will actually make April 8th a day every year like they do for Jackie Robinson. The Atlanta Braves celebrate Henry Aaron Day on April 8th. But again, really all of Major League Baseball should do the same. All right, let's go to a quick break. We come back, our Shop Star Network segment, and more. You're watching Roland Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
MAGA Republicans ended diversity programs, cut funding for Black students, and fired federal employees. And they won't stop there. Now, they've redrawn congressional maps so that they can rig the November elections. But we have the power to stop them. By voting yes for fair elections, we have the final say on who represents us in Congress. This is a temporary measure to restore fairness. They are not backing down, and neither can we. Make a plan to vote by April 21st and vote yes for fair elections.
I'm Ryan Wilson, CEO and co-founder of The Gathering Spot, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Folks, as we get older, our bodies have different needs. For instance, our skin becomes thinner and drier, which can result in wrinkles. Tonight with the founder of Care Beauty, who claims to have the secret to age-awesome skincare with products designed to keep your skin looking radiant, firm, and smooth. Lori King is the co-founder and CEO of Care Beauty, joining us from New York. Glad to have you here. So, all right, so first and foremost, this is for women, this is for guys. Who is this for? Because I see here we got the grown-up, you call it the grown-up moisturizer. First of all, what does that mean? That moisturizer is for kids or something? What do you mean the grown-up moisturizer?
What this means is that this is for grown-ups. This is not for a 20-year-old. How's that sound?
So is there something different about the product and how it's made based upon age?
Yes. So this is too potent for a 20-year-old skin. What happens in your 30s and escalates in your 40s and 50s is hormone decline. So you have a significant loss of progesterone, testosterone, and in particular, estrogen. And that is a key factor in how our skin starts to pretty much collapse.
Okay. And so explain to people how our skin changes when we get older.
As we get older and we have this loss in hormones, we start to lose our ability to actually produce more hyaluronic acid compounds in our skin, which is actually like a goo molecule within the skin, like, you know, mortar is to a brick house. So as you lose that mortar, your skin starts to sort of fall in, and it's not getting the hydration that it needs. It's also not getting enough collagen production. Your collagen production is slowing down significantly. So in order to help drive that, you have to develop, and what we've done is develop patented and proprietary delivery skin systems that help to enhance the longevity, wellness, and health of the skin. And so ultimately, as your skin is aging, it just is healthier and hence younger looking, so that you glow and that you don't have to cover yourself up all the time.
Wow. Okay, so you have the grown-up moisturizer.
Then we have moisturizer. Yes, we have an Oprah Daily Beauty Award.
Then we have the Triple Lift Molecule Mask. What is this?
Yes. Triple Lift Molecule Mask is it's like a spa facial in the jar. A lot of these clear masks that you see out there on the market, that you see all over TikTok, what's happening is they are made of microplastics. And a lot of people don't realize that there are these hidden ingredients that are in these products that don't help your skin to excel. So we created something using a natural sugar called Pouillan that you glide onto the skin, you let it tighten, and what ends up happening is it dries just like an eggshell mask, but you feel like you've had a spa facial. It's amazing.
Okay, all right. So then we have the Theorem Serum Boost.
Yeah, so the Theorem Serum Boost is our #1 seller. It's actually our hero product. We sell it on QVC. We obviously are doing that with you. But what this is an all-in-one solution for your skin. And what I mean by that is, you know how you go and you have all of these different layers to what you're doing in terms of your skincare regime? Well, I used to be one of those people who would have all of these different steps to how I'd apply my skincare. And all of those steps just, keep adding money. So our serum actually is a great face serum, but it's also wonderful for around the eyes. So it has targeted ingredients that work for around the eyes. And what's really important for this serum is that we use a biofermented peptide. No one actually ferments their peptides. Peptides are clinically proven to enhance the collagen production in your skin. I like to say that it's a personal trainer for your skin, and that's what this serum is doing. We have a lot of wives that buy the product, and then all of a sudden their husbands are trying the product, including my husband. So it's a product that was developed for women, but your skin is your skin. And as we all know, our skin is our largest organ, yet we're actually not really paying attention to it in the same way. And there aren't a lot of proprietary or patented skincare products out there, especially from Black founders. So I know you've spoken with Ron Robinson. We grew up in the industry together. My background is working with people like Elizabeth Taylor, Halle Berry, Celine Dion. I've worked with John Frieda creating brands, Boots No. 7. So working with all of these different people to really understand the chemistry of how we can solve for what's happening to our skin is where the key insight is. And mine is specifically for mature and midlife skin. So that's the big difference, because it's just not something that someone younger should be using. And that's the key distinction.
Well, let's go to our mature panel. And let's see. Come on.
You're calling them the mature panel now?
Let's go to the mature panel. Let's come on, so pull them all three. Let's see. Who shall I go to first? Who's the most mature on this panel?
Who's the most mature on this panel?
Let's see. Joy, you the most mature, Joy?
Well, it might be me. I was thinking that tonight when Brian said his age. I'm like, damn it. So yeah, no, it's me. But you know, Black don't crack. That said, we do have to have skincare. And so, you know, I'm really glad to have you talking about this. I think that not enough of us think about things like sun protection, think about things like moisturizing, all sorts of things, because we look at our skin, we're like, oh, it's dark. We see, you know, perhaps not as much as we see on the faces of our friends who are fairer skinned. That said, you know, we can still have all kinds of skin cancers and problems, etc., dry skin, etc., that you know everyone else can have. And I'm really loving that you're talking about not just, you know, skin for people of color, but also skin for people of color and those who are more senior. And you know, I think it's great.
Thank you so much. You know, when we started this brand and we thought about the formulations, it was very important that they worked on us. And one of my best friends is Carla Hall, and she and I went to Howard University together. And HU? Yeah, HU.
No.
Oh, y'all, calm down, calm down, calm down.
Well, Carla and I were in the Kamala class, so you know, it's like a really great experience. So Carla, I sent the products to because she'd always had these significant skin problems, and when she tried them, she called me up. She was like, "Oh my gosh, these are amazing." And I was like, all right, we're on to something, because she's got significantly dry skin and had problem in sensitive skin and menopausal skin that needed some recovery. And so she's a dedicated care user to this day.
All right, then, Rebecca.
Can I say one more thing? Oh, I was
go ahead.
I'm obsessed with skincare, and there are products that I really love. And one of the reasons is they're in my social media feed constantly. And how do you get a chance to do that too, so that people can discover your products? I discover a lot of products that way, and you go on them once and then they're like the best product you've ever seen, and you see all of the testimonials. How are you doing that and breaking into the market?
You know, it's our customers. They keep coming back and they keep talking about us. We need more people like you to try our products, talk about them on social, talk about how amazing we are, but also just tell your friends. And so that's how we've been able to build this brand over the past 5 years, to have 70% of people coming back, because we have these stories. For example, one woman who also went to Howard Law, she was like, "Oh my God, I used your serum and I saw my doctor, I got my Botox, and they were like, I didn't need as much Botox. What are you doing? What's different?" And there's cases of people who were only, we were on Tarrant Hall, and this woman was using Vaseline, and she tried our products, and she said, "I haven't ever found a product that I could walk away from my Vaseline." She broke that bottle. She was calling me to get another bottle. And we hand delivered it to her because she was in New York. So those are the types of stories that show the excitement for our formulations and the point of difference. When people try it on their skin, there's a difference because they've been spending so much money on these big names, and a lot of them are actually not differentiated. I've worked at these big companies. I know what they buy in terms of ingredients. We own our formulas. I also buy every ingredient myself. So everything that's in that bottle is something that you can trust. And we use glass packaging instead of plastic. We use aluminum here around the jar because we're being more sustainable instead of plastic. A lot of these things are just important details, yet our price points are still between $50 and $100 in terms of the large sizes. So we're not like the $300, $400, $500 miracles in the jar where you're sitting here going, why am I spending this? It's not really working.
Brian.
All right.
Brian's
well,
like, what do I say?
No, I'm going to blind all of your listeners right now, okay? I am Casper the Friendly Ghost. I'm a very bald white man. I have very white skin. And I did something very stupid the other day. I decided to play golf and not put on sunscreen.
Oh, hell yeah, that's dumb.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah, very, very stupid. I was playing with a friend of mine, and I just forgot. And I'm like, hey, I'm in Las Vegas. So I have like a farmer's tan now, and my skin is peeling. If you notice, I'm a ginger. Unfortunately, I grow hair in all the wrong places these days. I'll leave it at that. But what advice would you give to somebody like me who's a ginger who peels so much? What should I do?
You know, I'm not a sun care expert. I'll say that. But one of the key things is everyone, including everyone, even Roland knows your SPF is so important. I have lupus, so for me, SPF has been particularly important, and I choose not to burn. I wear hats, etc. In terms of skin health recovery after you burn, it's almost like a permanent damage. But there are things such as vitamin E's and that are more healing to the skin that will support that skin recovery. And there's other things that you can get over the counter to help with that. But I would say that you just have to form more of an occlusive barrier, and that's kind of what Vaseline unfortunately does. But there's other things like that that will help the healing process as you're going through it. I hope that helps a little bit, even though I'm not a scientist.
Well, listen, I've got multiple golf bags, and I have a minimum SP 50 in each one of those bags. So, and
Yes.
and if you're going to be out playing, Brian, you can't put it on one time. You're supposed to reapply it after the third hour.
Yes.
Oh,
and
wow.
Also,
okay. I made a big mistake.
That's right. Well, what's also important to your listeners is that it's not just your face and your head.
Yes. No, it's your face.
Your neck,
I play golf.
chest,
It's
your arms, your
if you're out, if is any part of your skin exposed playing golf, put some of that sunscreen on it. So you're talking about face, ears, neck, back of your neck, legs, ankles, all forearms, hands, all of it, because it's exposed. So again, I play lots of golf. So you can see right here. You can see there's a line right here. This is called golf cap line right here. So yeah, I spend a little time on the golf course. All right, y'all, Care Beauty. You can check out the products on shopblackstarnetwork.com. Shopblackstarnetwork.com. Check the products out. Go to the website and please, by all means, wrong one, guys. Wrong one. That was yesterday's guest. That was yesterday's guest. Come on, y'all. I need y'all to keep up. I got it. Okay, pull up Care Beauty on the site. I need y'all to be paying attention in the control room. Okay, all right. Go to shopblackstarnetwork.com to get the products. We appreciate it. Good luck with this, and I hope it does well, Lori.
Thank you.
All right.
I really appreciate it.
I
It's
appreciate
good to see
it.
you.
Thank you so very much. Let me thank Rebecca. Let me thank Joy. Let me thank Brian for being on today's show. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. And I will see y'all next time. Folks, that is it for us. Tomorrow, we will be live on the campus of Virginia State University. Virginia State University. Pull the graphic up. We're going to be there, of course, talking about this special referendum on April 21st. Early voting is happening right now. Let's pack the house. Petersburg, Virginia. We're going to be in the house tomorrow. Friday, Norfolk State University. We're going to be there Friday, so we want to see y'all in the house as well. Thursday and Friday, Virginia State, Norfolk State. Cannot wait to see y'all there. So again, check it out. All right, folks, let's see here. We want y'all, of course, give me 1 second. So y'all are telling me the products are not on the site? Okay, we should have known that before the show now. So remember I told y'all, check, always check. So I just sent a text to them. So folks, we'll get that up ASAP. So I just hit the people who control the mall, let them know. So call them, please. Control room, will y'all call them? All right? Please, but I got you. But we should always know that before we have them on. All right. Do me a favor, folks. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. We wanted your support for the show, for what we do. Allow us to be able to broadcast all across the country to cover the stuff that matters as well. So do me a favor. If you want to join, you want to contribute via Cash App, please do so. Use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here. That's also for credit cards as well. Checks and money order. Make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered. P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo RM Unfiltered. Zelle Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Don't forget also, download the Black Star Network app. Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Samsung Smart TV. Also, of course, please, again, download the Black Star Network app. Now, if you want to get our swag, please do so by going to shopblackstarnetwork.com. You name it, we got it, folks. Our hats and our T-shirts, all our good stuff. Please check that thing out right there on the site. Again, shopblackstarnetwork.com and Black-owned products. A lot of different companies, folks, on the website. So you see I'm scrolling right here on my iPad. And so you can see we got our featured founders right here. And, of course, Care Beauty is going to be added shortly. And so we're hitting the folks right now to make sure to get that done. So if you go to the website, again, you can support all of these Black-owned companies. We got comics, we got jewelry. My goodness, we've got creams, we've got skincare, we've got hair products, pet food, you name it, we got it right here on shopblackstarnetwork.com. Check out the breakdown of Brittany Noble every day, noon Eastern, right here on Black Star Network. And please check us out there as well. Again, tomorrow night, we'll see you on the campus of Virginia State University. Look forward to that. Friday, Norfolk State. Great conversation, great panelists. Let's pack the house out. Again, shout out. He's an ancestor now, but we want to shout out Henry Aaron Day today, April 8th, 1974. He broke Babe Ruth's record. Hit his 715th home run. Went on, of course, to finish at 755. So, hat tip to our dear brother, Henry Hank Aaron. All right, folks, that's it. I'll see y'all tomorrow. And tomorrow, we'll be celebrating the birthday of the great Paul Robeson. That's right. That's tomorrow. All right, folks, I'll see you tomorrow. Holla!